Hello, in the second video of me trying to make this horror game. If you haven't seen the first one, you can go to my channel and watch it, I guess. So my idea for this game is that it's gonna be like an infinite forest and you're gonna be like walking and shooting some monsters or enemies or whatever, because it's supposed to be a shooter. And then after some time or some distance, you're gonna get to like a door to another level or something like that. And this whole forest will be generated procedurally. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say that, because I want this to feel like you're lost in the forest, so there won't be like a path you have to go. You can just walk any direction and it will just generate more random trees. I don't know if I get that far with my development adventure, but at least it's good to have a plan or something. Like, it's good to know what I'm doing. Sometimes helps, I guess. I didn't really know how to do that, so I just wrote some code that like randomly spawns some trees around the player. And then when the player's moving, it just looks for the furthest tree and then teleports it somewhere closer. But it had some weird bugs, like tree distribution was not consistent and trees growing on the middle of a street. I mean, it sometimes happens in the real life, but I don't really want this in my game, to be honest. And I could solve it by just patching every single bug, and every time I see something, just finding a solution how to go around it. But it would get really complicated and weird really quickly, so I had to think of a better solution for that. And in the meantime, I decided to put the man down, which means that I made another camera mode that resembles more walking than flying as it was previously, so it feels more like a game right now than just, I don't know, something else. But for this procedural tree generation, I decided to go for something like how Minecraft is generating new terrain. So there are chunks of terrain around the player and every single one of them is generated separately. So I have just one function for generating terrain. I can just repeat it for every chunk. So that simplifies a lot, and I think I'll just stick to it for now. Here I disabled sampler so you can see better how the terrain generation works. Every chunk should have the same amount of trees, but sometimes it doesn't work for some reason, but I won't fix it until it will bother me very much. So also there are different types of chunks. For example, road is generated differently because, as I said before, I don't want trees on the road. Also, I'd like to generate these street lights every few chunks or something, when I get dynamic light, of course, which I don't have. It's basically just hard-coded into the shader, but I'll change it someday, I think. Next, I tried to make the vegetation a bit more diverse, so I've created another tree using this sapling add-on, and somehow this tree came up even worse than the previous one, but I decided to keep it anyway, because I don't have anything else, at the time at least, because I'm planning to make my own trees. And I have many weird ideas how to make these trees in the game, and it might take a long time to do all of them, because what I have in mind requires to change many things in the renderer itself, so I will try to do this all in the next update, but I can't promise anything, because, you know, those are just my ideas in my head. I didn't even try to make them yet, so... And the final thing I did in this update was improving shading. I mean, previously there was no shading, it was more of a fog, if anything. As you can see, my first attempt was rather unsuccessful. I removed sampler so you can only see the shadows, and as you can see, it doesn't really look right. I don't remember what I did wrong, but in the end I managed to fix it. It was probably some minor error, I probably just messed up some axes or something. Here you can see it working how it's supposed to. At least I think it is, because I don't know if I used the right clip. I'm not the best at naming files, so I don't know which one was the correct one. But it doesn't really matter, because here it's how it looked with the textures, and I believe it is making a difference. So my next step in this shading adventure will be to add some real shadows finally, and yeah, that might take a while. But in the meantime, there's a lot of things to do, so subscribe if you wanna see next update, cause I'm gonna probably upload it someday. I've also did some small changes to the renderer, like finally using push constants instead of uniform buffers. So this is how game looks right now, and I hope to make another update this month, but I don't know, maybe I will, maybe I won't. So yeah, subscribe or something, and bye.